Hey everyone, I have not done a weekend vlog in a long time, so I decided I would do one this weekend. This is basically I have no plans, like let me recover from my week sort of a weekend. I was diagnosed with autism in December 19 to be exact, and I thought I would kind of show you some of the things that I do over the course of my weekend that just like prep me for the next week and just make me feel like more regulated, I guess. So it'll be kind of like a reading vlog with that sort of stuff thrown in. As I said, I have no plans this weekend. I'm just gonna see what the weekend brings, and that is like step number one. No plans, no demands is like the perfect weekend. The weekend after this, I'm going to be going out of town to visit one of my friends, and that's going to be like an amazing weekend, but it's really nice to prep for that by having a weekend with zero demands. I don't have to do anything or be anywhere at a certain time. I can just decide what I want to do in the moment based on how my body feels, and that is the setup for an amazing weekend. Okay, hey, so I just took a bath, and basically the rest of the night is just gonna be like monotropic time, which is where I just get completely into like a zone of just like doing whatever I want. It's kind of like Montessori style, like I just go from activity to activity with no demands and just do whatever I feel like. I do have laundry going right now, so I do have like a few like household tasks I'm doing, but mostly I'm just gonna like zone out and live my life. And I thought I would show you what I'm reading right now. So like, first of all, I have a million books going. I have a whole new morning routine, which maybe I'll show you tomorrow, but I'm really into this podcast right now. It's so good. It's called The Telepathy Tapes, and it does have a lot of science in it, but also it's just really engaging and like dramatic and stuff. But basically the premise is that kids with autism who are non-speakers or non-mouth talkers, or whatever term you want to use for them, still communicate. They just have different ways of communicating. And so this whole podcast is about different kids that are able to communicate with their parents or with others without speaking, like telepathically. And basically it's a scientist, and she's doing like these different tests on them, like a random number generator, and then the kid has to like type in the number onto their like iPad or something like that. It's really interesting, especially since I do have experience not with that per se, but with a non-verbal, non-speaking autistic kid communicating with me on his iPad without assistance, because there is like some people will almost do it like a Ouija board, where they're like holding the person's arm, and like it is possible for them to like take control of the message, but like this seems pretty scientific and legit. And anyway, I'm really into it. Like I am binging it. I'm almost done. But on a different podcast, I heard of Marsha Aileen Hewitt. She is a psychoanalyst, and she mentioned in this one podcast episode about one time where she had a therapy client who they had like worked together for like years, like I think she said like 5 years or more, and she like went away for the weekend or went on a short vacation, did not tell her analyst, how do you say that? Analyst. Anyway, she didn't tell her patient that she was going anywhere or where she went or anything. And her and this patient were just very, very close. Like I think there was a level of love between them in like a healthy way. But anyway, her patient apparently made some comment the next session that perfectly described exactly where she had been over the weekend, and there's no way she could have known that. And so yeah, anyway, she basically wrote a book on it, and this is the book. And so it's just like cool to be reading this because it ties into the podcast I'm obsessed with right now, but it's called Legacies of the Occult, and it's on psychoanalysis, religion, and unconscious communication. So this is the really bizarre rabbit hole that I'm into right now. So I took a bath. Like I said, I'm in comfy clothes that don't match and I don't care. And I'm going to put a pizza in the oven and just hang out and read this for a bit. I also might feel like playing video games, and I also might feel like catching up on YouTube because I'm so far behind and there's so many videos that I'm really excited to watch. So anyway, I'll catch up with you later, but that is the rabbit hole that I'm deep into. Okay, so it is Saturday morning now, and I have done my morning routine, which is basically, on the weekends is a bit more flexible, but basically I spend a lot of time just reading and thinking in the mornings, and so I just thought I would show you some of the books I'm reading, because basically, on a school day, I will wake up, use the facilities, which is an obvious thing, but I pair that with cleaning the kitty litter. Like, I just pair those together because one is definitely going to happen and then the other will likely happen as a result of pairing it with the other. And then I tend to go out into my kitchen and I will make myself a cup of tea or lemon water or something like that, and then I sit down and journal or read or whatever. So this morning I woke up with some things on my mind that I wanted to journal about, and then after that I read. So I have a stack of books, and on the weekend, I will tend to read a little bit from all of them until I feel like I'm ready to start my day. Today, I only read a little bit from 2 of them. And then on a weekday, I tend to only pick one and just read for a few minutes because it's a weekday, I have to go to work, and it's just kind of a lot. So I'll show you all of them. I kind of have nonfiction going on in different categories. So the one that I started with this morning is the one I talked about yesterday, Legacies of the Occult, Psychoanalysis, Religion, and Unconscious Communication. Right now, we have not gotten into the really, really good stuff, but it's just about Freud and his views on religion, and it's just kind of an introduction right now. I really want to get into some of the meat of stuff, but so far, not yet. Anyway, so I read a little bit from there. And, one of the other things I do is I will either highlight or underline. This book has thicker pages, so I highlighted stuff that I thought was interesting. And typically what I do, is I will highlight one day, read and highlight one day, and then the next day I will go back and review what I read the day before and then take notes, either physically in a notebook, or right now I have a whole setup on my iPad where I insert a cover of the book I'm reading into, I think it's called Good Notes or something like that. I'll put it below if it's something different than Good Notes. And then beyond the photo, then I have notebook pages, and I just use my Apple Pencil to take notes. And that way, when I'm all done with the book, if I want to kind of review what I learned in the book or the main ideas or whatever, well, I can just go back on the notes that I've taken. So yeah, that's what I do. So then the other book that I'm reading that I've had for a while, but I'm just now getting into, is The Story of Art Without Men. This is by Katie Hessel. This book is so much heavier than you would think that it should be. And it's just because there's just glossy pages and loads of illustrations. Well, not really, photographs of art, I would say. And so this is exactly what it sounds like, and I'm sure you've heard of it because it's been out for a couple of years now, but it is an art history book that covers basically women's art history. So I'm not very far. I'm into the Renaissance right now. But it's just been interesting so far. to learn about how to be taken seriously as a woman artist, you needed to be educated. And there was only certain women that had access to education in the way that you needed to be an artist. And they tended to be wealthy or, for whatever reason, have the support of a man. Like, without the support of a man, you could not be a woman artist back in the day. And also, I thought it was interesting that, like, also being a nun was like a way to access art and time to spend on art. So that was really interesting. So far, my favorite piece of art that we've gotten to is this one. And that's the person's name that did it. I hope it's focused. But this artist did a lot of art where women are engaged in intellectual activities, and I just love that. It's so, like, fiercely feminist, and also, like, I just enjoy intellectual activities. So yeah, so far that's my favorite, just like some sisters playing chess. Anyway, and then I am reading, so that's like an art book, a psychology book. Usually I have a book on autism going, but I don't right now. I'm in between autism books. And then something political. So my political thing right now is Let This Radicalize You. This is by Kelly Hayes and Miriam Kaba. This is for a book club that I have on Monday, and it's a new book club. It is, I think it's called the Radical Book Club or something like that. It's taking place at my favorite bookstore, Books and Mortar, and it's just a new book club for them. But I think that we're going to read texts like this, but also we might be able to work together on things, or at least be given resources that will allow us to take action. This book, I'm only on page 38. I'm really enjoying it, and it's basically just about, like, okay, this is what you actually do. Like, here are the actual things that you need to be doing by women that have been oppressed for their whole lives and know how this thing goes, right? And then finally, like a health book, I'm reading Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia. I just randomly decided to pick this up just to try and infuse healthier habits into my life, because I tend to do kind of a gentle version of the 9-week year where I do one habit that I focus on through that week, and every day I just check, did I do that habit? Yes, no. And so I'm hoping this will give me some ideas on, like, things that have a big effect size. But it's interesting that I picked this up, because when I told my therapist that I decided to read it, even though I've owned it for quite some time, she was basically raving about this book and how much she got into it when she read it. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, oh, and then I think I already said that I journaled for a while this morning. Anyway, it's like 11. And, like, I'm just now ready to start my day. So I think that's a big thing for me on the weekends, is just having a really slow start to the mornings. I wake up insanely early. Like, my sleep and wake up routine is pretty much the same. But on the weekends, sometimes I will do my little reading ritual situation, and then I'll, like, take another nap. Today I didn't do that, but obviously if I'm just now ready and it's 11, I obviously had a pretty leisurely start to the day. So the art museum, Muskegon Art Museum, just opened at 11, so I think I'm gonna head down there. I have been wanting to visit an art museum, partially because of this book and partially just because I haven't been in a while. But what's really cool, two things. One, our art museum just, like, did this massive renovation and added a very big addition. And it only recently opened up to the public, like, I think in the past week. So I definitely want to see that and see the new addition and just see how they have redone everything. But also when I, like, got so I go and do things based on what I'm feeling that day. That's really important to me on the weekends. And when I got the, like, desire to go to the art museum randomly today, I looked it up, like, what time does it open, how much does it cost, all that stuff on their website, and Apparently I just randomly decided to go on the second Saturday of the month, which is a free Saturday. So that's exciting. I think there is an extra cost if I want to go to like a special exhibit they have or something, but I don't really know what's going on. So I'll just wait and see when I get there if I want the free or the special extra. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. So feel free to come with me. I'm just trying to show you what it is like to be an autistic woman on the weekends. And I think that a lot I do has changed compared to how I used to live my weekends, just because I'm so conscious about my energy levels and how to fill up my energy and have joy on the weekends. So it's Sunday around noon, and I spent a lot of time reading this morning and just having my leisurely start to the day that we talked about. It is pure ice out here, so I have like on my little spiky additions to my boots. Yesterday was really nice at the museum, so I'm not like a super like art person. I would say like literature is more my art, like reading literary fiction and memoirs and stuff that like brings up a lot of feelings, I guess, are more my version of art as opposed to like visual art. But I just thought it was interesting, the synchronicity of yesterday. So I just randomly was in the mood to go to the museum. And part of that was because that we had just done like a massive renovation addition situation. But then I looked online to see like when it would open, and it opened at like the perfect time for when I was actually ready finally yesterday. And then also it happened to be a free day, and I didn't even realize that I think every Thursday is free, but also the second Saturday of the month is free, and that was yesterday. So it's just cool that this random like urge to go all happened at the just right time for it to be free. And then when I walked in, do you remember that I told you that I was reading that book about like women's like art history and stuff? And the very first exhibit that I got to was all women artists, and legit talked about some of the same themes that were in the book that I was reading. So that was so cool. And in fact, one of the artists, I would have to go back and look, like was a nun, and I feel like she was somebody that was talked about in the book. So there is that. But anyway, the art that I seemed to be drawn to was more of like, it all had like this fierceness and this hope to it, and I just thought that was really cool. And yeah, something that I can definitely be thinking about in my life, about how to continue forward with a sense of hope while also maintaining fierceness and love and beauty. So yeah, I really enjoyed yesterday. And now I'm just on a walk today, but it is a bit scary when it's like completely ice. I'm really grateful for my little spikes. Why is it not focusing? Okay, there we go. I do better on this where it is pure ice, but there's a dusting of snow on top. I feel like that gives me more grip than just like solid ice and also uneven ice. Yeah. Ugh. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here so that I can kind of get ready for the work week and have some more downtime today. But just trying to think about some of the changes in this vlog of me being very obvious about how I'm acting and why compared to other vlogs before I was as aware of my energy levels and stuff. I would say that, first of all, the weekend, definitely I'm throughout the weekend, I am conscious all the time of my energy levels and on the future as well. So like, what is coming this week? Do I have the energy to do a bit more on a certain day, or do I really need to make sure that my battery is like full for the week, which it needs to be because I have an insane week this week with stuff going on every day after work. Yeah, so definitely being conscious of my energy levels. Another thing that I think you probably saw is loads of time just for my mind to wander and for me just to be and exist without any outside pressures. So my morning reading time where I'm just reading and thinking and getting deep into my thoughts. Even on my nature walk, I talk to you for part of the time, but the rest of the time I'm just wandering. I'm allowing my body to wander. I'm allowing my mind to wander as well. And yeah, what else? I don't really know. But yeah, I think that's just the main difference, is that there is just an awareness of my energy levels. And yeah, so I'm curious what you thought of this weekend. It's not like a let me show you how awesome my weekend is sort of a vlog. It's more of a let me show you an ordinary weekend as an autistic person and what that looks like. So I'm curious if you felt like it was similar to your weekends, if I did way less than you. Any other thoughts that you had, I would love to hear them. I hope you guys are all doing well, and next weekend will be an insanely busy, amazing weekend. So if I decide to vlog it, that might be more similar to like my vlogs back in the day, where I would just go and not pay attention at all to my energy levels. Oh, also, like, no makeup today. Like, I also need a day to just rest and not have to feel like I am being some kind of way. So that was another thing. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing week ahead, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.